está aquí, grabar, está aquí. Buenos días, ¿cómo están ustedes?
Bien.
¿Bien?
Yes.
Para,
Bien.
para lunes, for
Bien.
Monday, ¿eh? Para lunes, for Monday. Bastante. Uh, we're going to do a last dive into ando, viendo. We're going to finish up on our little agenda. We're going to finish up the last picture we didn't do last week. We're going to do that first. We're going to take a look at other verbs you might hear instead of estar and why. You'll hear them maybe less frequently, but as soon as I say that, I saw a video where we use the other examples all over. And it's good to know, and it's not hard. Not hard. Then we're going to take a look at some things when, ing, when you can't use ando, yendo. When you think you can, because that's the English, ing, ing, but when ando, yendo is not equivalent to ing, because sometimes that happens. And then we're going to point out some things about our video for the week, our Español con Juan, la visita a la playa, the visit to the beach. See?
Mhm.
I want to point out some nuggets, some great little chunks that you can easily use from that video. Okay. Es el orden. That's the one. Y vamos a empezar con esto, la foto, con la última foto. I'm going to make this bigger. Voy a engrandecer. Sí, mucho mejor, mucho mejor. Es más fácil de ver. It's easier to see, ¿no? ¿Correcto? ¿Sí? Ok. Pueden ver
Yes.
el papá con el niño, ¿verdad? Right?
Yes.
Sí, bien, okay. And now that I've got this on share, I cannot see your faces. So if you nod, I won't see you nod. I'm not ignoring you. Okay, let's pick up with this last tidbit. We're going to use estar with ando yendo to talk about, el papá o el niño o el papá y el niño. Depende, ¿sí? But I give you the general verbs I want you to use with this. Primero clase. ¿Dónde están el papá y el niño? ¿Dónde están?
Un partido de béisbol.
Sí, están en exacto. Están en un partido de béisbol.
Con su niño.
Sí. Bien. Están en un estadio. They're in a stadium. Están en un estadio de béisbol. Ok. Si queremos usar, if we want to use, si queremos usar, pasar tiempo con.
Está
¿Sí?
pasando.
Están
pasando.
sí.
Está
Ok.
pasando.
Sí.
Está.
Los dos, the two of them. We could say instead of el papá y el niño, we could say los dos. Los dos. Los dos están pasando tiempo en el partido
Partido
de
de
béisbol. Bien, sí. Bien. O podemos decir, el papá está pasando tiempo con su hijo.
Sí.
¿Sí? But then I would have to change it to está pasando tiempo. El papá está pasando tiempo con su hijo. Bien. Vale.
Hey, Marilyn,
Sí.
if we wanted to say they're spending time with each other. How do you say each other?
Oh, aren't you clairvoyant? This is a word that I hope we're going to see late in class today. Well, we will see it. Yay. With each other. With each other. That is reciprocal, isn't it? Okay. Una palabrita, a teeny tiny word we're going to insert. Let's change it to ellos instead of los dos. Ellos. Here's our little teeny tiny word. Se están pasando tiempo. Juntos. They're spending time, and with the with each other is expressed by plugging in that little word, say. But I could also just say, I could take out the say. There are a couple things. Están pasando tiempo juntos. I could just leave it at juntos. I could inject a little word se. Se, sometimes, se has many, many jobs in Spanish. So there are a lot of times you're going to hear the word se come up in very simple conversational contexts. And sadly, there is not just one definition for using the word, that little word say. It can mean a number of different things, but this is fun. It is possible. We'll see. Bien. Okay.
Thank you.
Bien, de nada. Now, this one, we're going to have a teeny tiny change because divertirse is an IR verb that is stem changing. And because it's in this special category, it does get this little la letra that that I have put in bold in the middle, it will change to an I. So we're going to have to insert one extra different little vowel, okay? It won't be divertiendo. It's hard for me to even pronounce the word that way, yeah. Divertir has to become vivirtiendo. Bien? Okay. Let's just say the two of them are having fun. They're having fun. See? Los
Yes.
dos
Estos
se están divirtiendo. So here is our itty bitty stem change. This does not, most times, what we call stem changing verbs, and stem changing verbs only mean that a vowel in the middle, not the vowel at the end that's part of a conjugation, but the vowel that's in the middle. That there is a little change for that because it's in that special category that my teenage students used to really hate. Oh, it's about right. It gets a little vowel change. Okay, los dos se están divirtiendo durante el partido. Bien, okay. Vale. Vale. Notar. Notar looks like to take note, and it does kind of mean that, but it means sort of more mentally or visually. It means that you're noticing. And maybe the kid is noticing his favorite player. His favorite player. Yeah. Su jugador favorito. Su jugador, player, jugador favorito. Ok. ¿Cómo se dice? El niño, the kid. No,
El chico.
El chico. Oh, el chico, sí. El chico. He is noticing. He is noticing
Está notando.
Está notando a, a su jugador favorito. You know how kids are. They have like a favorite outfielder or batter or something. And notice this does not get a se, right? Divertirse has a se because it's a reflexive verb. Okay, this is not the same se as here. It's just a reflexive verb. Okay, but here notar does not have a se. So el chico está notando. Está notando, not a stem changing verb, so it just does the ando yendo like you expect. El chico está notando a su jugador favorito. Okay, bien. And point at is señalar, señalar. Bien. Vale.
El niño señalando.
El niño, and we need this verb. Está. Sí,
Está.
está señalando. ¿Sí?
Una acción en el campo.
Sí, sí. Está señalando al campo. He's pointing out at the field, you know. Okay, he could be pointing at anything. Sí. Está señalando, está notando, está divirtiendo, está pasando. Bien, vale. Bueno. ¿Alguna pregunta? Any kind of question before we show you some extra verbs that you might use instead of estar? ¿Alguna pregunta? Es fácil, ¿no? It's an easy structure to use, but the important thing to know is that we use it to talk about what is really happening right
now.
Yeah. If I want to say, I'm planting a tree in my backyard today, it isn't happening, so I can't use that yet. No puedo decir que estoy plantando un árbol nuevo. No, I am not doing it right now, so I can't say it that way. Okay, see? Bien, I can say it as voy a plantar un árbol nuevo, ¿sí? Aquí en Arizona, sí, el tiempo correcto, el tiempo apropiado para plantar árboles es el otoño, ¿sí? Bien. Keep that in mind because we use that tree planting later in thoughts. Okay, that's fine. Vamos a ver. Let's take a quick look at some other verbs you may hear instead of estar. In this same structure, sometimes you hear people using a verb that is not estar with the ando yendo. It's so small, and you know what? This is probably not an all-inclusive list, but here are the biggies that you will see. And they're done for a reason. They're done to add a little extra twist to the meaning. Okay. So instead of estar, I might hear ir used instead of estar with ando, yendo. And that is to kind of get the idea to go along doing something. It gives flow and movement to the in idea. Okay. Okay. Un ejemplo, an example. Okay. Bien. Los empleados en el hotel. Let's say you're checking out of the hotel, and you know how everybody's in the corridors at checkout time because the crews are doing all their cleaning, yeah. Los empleados en el hotel van limpiando las habitaciones. Okay? Van limpiando. It gives movement, not just to say they are cleaning, están limpiando. Es correcto. It is correct to say están limpiando, that they are cleaning as we're walking through the hallway and watching them hustle about. But if we want to give a real feel or an emphasis to the fact that they're hustling around doing this, yeah, instead of están limpiando, we'll use van limpiando. Van limpiando. They go along doing this. They're hustling along doing this. It gives movement and flow to that activity of limpiando. Okay? Okay, right. So these verbs, instead of estar, give a tiny twist, a tiny more oomph to put in an extra idea. Seguir, seguir. Which it's an IR verb that's a subject verb. Thank you for conjugate. But okay, seguir means to continue or to follow. And sometimes seguir you will hear used with ando or yendo. And then it injects a really specific, even more specific than ir. It means to keep on something. To keep on. En inglés se usa to keep on. You could say continue, but most people say keep on, right? Okay. Bien. Un ejemplo. An example. Bien. Buen ejemplo. Aunque. Aunque. Aunque hay una tempestad. Even though there's a storm. You can relate to this one. Aunque hay una tempestad, ¿sí? Seguimos caminando en el barrio. Yeah. Even though, even though there's a storm, we're keeping on walking. Yeah. We're keeping on walking. ¿Sí? Bien. Okay. Vale. Keep on. That's a good one. That's a good one because that one you will hear a lot, and you will hear a lot. Now, the next two I think are less frequent. So you know what? I'm going to put these in bold and underline them because these two are the verbs that I think you'll hear more in that context instead of estar. But there are two others that you might hear. We'll pay some lip service to them. Before I leave seguir, I'm going to give you in the notes here the conjugations for seguir because
Thank you.
it's a stinker to conjugate because it's an IR that is a stem changing word. And seguimos I use because seguimos is the only regular one. Stem changing verbs do not get a stem change in nosotros, but they will in the others. So let's see what yo looks like. Yo looks like this. Sigo. I don't know who was over there. Yo sigo. SIGO comes from seguir. I know. It's got a stem change here. Instead of se from seguir, it goes to si. Si. and most of these will be a C. The E changes to an I. Sigo, and you'll notice the U disappears, and that's a spelling change. You don't need to know the why, but sigo. I keep on doing something, right? Okay, bien. Tú sigues, and notice the U comes back. Yeah. You only need to know that for spelling. For speaking, you don't need to know. Sigo, sigues. Right? See? You keep on. Él a usted sigue caminando, right? Ellos, ellas, ustedes siguen caminando, right? And then the nosotros goes back to the original of seguir. It just takes everything out of the original seguir and changes nothing. So it's seguimos. Bien. But there are your conjugations of seguir, right? People in Spanish know the conjugations of ir because we use it so much. Voy, vas, va, vamos, van. Bien. But seguir is more complicated verb to conjugate. So here are your forms so that you'll recognize them. Yeah. Seguir, even though it's hard to conjugate, is a good verb to know because people use it all the time when they give you directions because they tell you to siga recto, keep going straight. So you'll hear that verb seguir a lot when you receive instructions for how to get to a place. You know, you ask for directions. Okay, venir. Venir. Venir is to come to a place. Okay. So it changes that meaning a little bit to some. They come in doing something, right? Meaning you're watching somebody walking through the door or the entrance of a building or entrance to a room. See? Come in doing something. You won't hear that as often as ir or seguir. You're more likely to read that, say, pues, en una novela, in a novel. So we're giving this lip service. Okay? Okay, por ejemplo, vengo a casa, I come home, vengo a casa cargando las compras. I come into the house lugging, carrying in the shopping bags. See? Las compras. I'll change las compras to las bolsas because really that's more like bags. Yeah, if I've got my grocery bags, they'll be las bolsas. Vengo a casa cargando. I'm lugging it. Cargando las bolsas. See? Bien? Salir is kind of an opposite feel to venir. Venir means you're arriving in a specific spot. Salir is the opposite movement. Leave, right? And again, you'll probably read this more than hear it. The ir and seguir are much more common, but you might hear it. Salir is to leave or go out. Yeah. So let's say somebody's in a happy mood, and what you want to express is, oh, they're out the door. They're out the door singing. Yeah. Little kids, see? Los niños, the little kids leave they leave school singing because they're happy to get the heck out of school. Okay, sí, los niños salen, salen de la escuela, sí, cantando. They're doing this while they leave the school building, la 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 la. And again, you give it flow like ir, but you give it the more specific flow of your exit while they're doing this. So those are the verbs, you'll hear sometimes instead of estar, paired up with ando, paired up with yendo. Okay, bien. Good so far, ¿sí? Bien.
Mhm.
Okay. Y en seguir, good to know, because seguir means keep on. And yeah, giving it kind of a continuous idea and here that there's movement happening. How is this? Okay. Vale. Yeah. Okay, so we know how to use it. Es fácil de usar. It's easy to use. And we know it's an in the moment kind of expression. So that we talk about things in real time as we are speaking. So there are some times when you will not, when we cannot use ando yendo, even though the English is the idea of ing. And I'm going to show you a part of a video, even though I have to tell you, I don't find the presenter the most captivating presenter, pero es buena explicación. It's a good explanation. So we're not going to watch this whole thing. Pero it shows you some situations where even though English uses ing, it won't be the ando yendo you think it might be. Yeah. Vamos a ver, we're going to see a couple snippets here, and then we'll see some examples. Yeah. Bueno, okay.
Verb.
See,
Here we don't translate ing to
okay, when there's a preposition, prepositions are the little words like in, at, yeah, things that talk about like often spatial position.
ando yendo. Here, ing will be translated to something completely different. A preposition is a word such as to, in, of,
Those are prepositions.
without, with, before, after, etc. It is very important to understand your own language when you are trying to learn, especially your second language.
Oh,
The second language is the most difficult one to learn. The third one is going to be easier than the second one, and so forth. Let's practice with some examples. Thanks for coming.
thanks for coming. Okay. Muchas veces decimos thanks for coming. Okay. But you're not saying, hey, you guys are coming at 8. We're not saying are coming, but we are using coming in English. And because I don't have the are coming, this will not be the ando yendo. Okay. And the preposition there is for. So you'll see how we express this. This won't be in.
Most people use the wrong preposition in Spanish, and they also translate coming literally. Let's see how you should translate it. Gracias por venir.
Yeah. Gracias por venir. This for is the word por. Because you're giving thanks in exchange for. And when we give something in exchange for, whether there's actually money or a verbal acknowledgement as the exchange, it's the word por. It's the word por. Gracias por venir. See? Thanks for helping. Gracias por ayudar. Thanks for helping. It won't be ayudando. Gracias por ayudar. Thanks for, thanks for working with that problem. Gracias por trabajar con ese problema. Sí. Bien. Bien. Thanks for listening. Gracias por escuchar. Thanks for participating. Gracias por participar. Okay? So, okay.
So the preposition is not para in this construction. Thanks for the preposition will always be
But notice, after a preposition, we don't do an ing. It's just the infinitive. Yay! You don't have to conjugate anything at all. You don't have to conjugate anything at
for,
all.
and the verb is not going to be viniendo. Here, ing is going to be an infinitive verb in Spanish. Remember that infinitive verbs are the endings ar, ir. So most of the times that the verb goes after a preposition, you need to remember that the verb is going to be an infinitive verb in Spanish, ending in ar, ir. And you are not going to translate ing to ando yendo. Number 2, I'm tired of working. Most people think that it is estoy cansado de trabajando,
And no, it isn't that.
but the translation is estoy cansado de trabajar.
And the of moves over to this word de. Okay, it is an exact translation. De. Estoy cansado. I'm tired. Estoy cansado de trabajar. De trabajar. See? Okay? But not trabajando. Estoy cansado de trabajar. So the takeaway to notice here is that whenever there's a little rule in Spanish, and this is 100% kind of rule, this has no exceptions. Anytime a verb follows a preposition in Spanish, it's just a rule they have. Any verb that immediately comes right next to, right after a preposition, it automatically has got to be an infinitive. Okay. So little words that are prepositions are words like could, de, en, right? Those are the biggies, but it could be something like antes de, before, después de, after, because we have that little word de, and de is a preposition. So anytime we've got a verb that's right after a preposition, right? Most common ones being a, de, en, or maybe con, yeah. Just use the infinitive, okay? No ing, no ing.
Number 3, I'm thinking about moving. Estoy pensando en mudarme.
Bien. To think about is pensar en. Pensar en. And en is a preposition. So even though in English we say, I'm thinking about moving, it is not I am moving. So notice why, right? The idea is not I am doing something, it's I'm thinking of, I'm thinking about, thanks for. We've got a preposition in there. So because en is a preposition, it won't be in, mudando, mudándome, and that's a reflexive. That's why you see the little word me tagged onto the back. It's reflexive. I know it's like you do reflexive action to yourself, you move yourself. This is talked about when you're moving your residence, yeah, moving into an apartment, moving into a house. Algo así, something like that. Estoy pensando en mudarme. Sí, pregunta.
Let's see. The preposition en, does that have multiple meanings?
It does. It can mean in, at, or on. Right?
Or about.
Estoy en el parque. I'm in the park. Estoy en el partido. I'm at the game. Right? En can mean on, like on top of, as well. So en is used in more than one situation. Buena pregunta, really good question. Okay, so tenemos que estar muy flexibles. We have to be very flexible with some prepositions because they might have more than one job, right? They have more than one job.
Number 4, I rest after working. Descanso después de trabajar.
Después de. And después de have to be together. But notice the de is like the de up on top, two sentences up with estoy cansando de trabajar. It's really because of that little word de that I need the trabajar,
Después de.
right? Sometimes we use después by itself, okay, to say afterwards. Like primero limpio la casa. First, I clean the house. Después descansa. Afterwards, I'll rest. Sometimes it just means afterwards, but después de is after doing something. Trabajar. Okay? See? ¿Entienden? Understand? Okay. Okay.
Number 5. Please call before leaving. Por favor, llama antes de irte.
And antes de is a good chunk to know. Antes de, as después de is after. The opposite meaning is antes de, before, right? Por favor, llama antes de irte, de irte. And irte is reflexive also. It just means leaving, taking off, getting out of an area. Okay? Bien? Taking off. Por favor, llama antes de, and there's our de, irte. Please call before leaving. Okay. Bien? So, sometimes where English will use ing, Spanish cannot. After a preposition word, de, en, por, para, con, little preposition words. The only verb you can use, because it's 100% will, is the infinitive itself. So, okay. Then, we're going to watch one other thing.
Number 5. Verbs as the subject of a sentence.
Here is a situation where English does use ing, but without the idea of is or are. When the verb is actually the subject, when the verb is actually a noun. Okay, so here's an example when a verb is a noun. I can say, I am signing, and the verb for to sign is firmar. It looks like firm in English. Firmar is to sign. Okay. I could say, estoy firmando documento, o estoy firmando un documento para SRP. Sí, la compañía eléctrica, the electric company, sí, estoy firmando un documento para SRP. Okay, estoy firmando. Now I'm saying that I am doing this right now. I'm signing some. Okay. Bien. But sometimes you want to use the idea of signing as a name, a noun for the action.
The signing will take place tomorrow.
Es. O, por ejemplo, signing documents is a drag. Oh, it's such a drag. And then we'll just use the infinitive again. So notice the alternative is an easy one because it always means a not conjugated kind of verb. Firmar documentos es aburrido. Signing documents is boring. Firmar documentos es aburrido. But you're talking about that action as an activity, a thing. You're not talking about who's doing it, but just the fact of what that activity is. Okay? Unos ejemplos
Here,
aquí.
in English, you use the ing verb. In Spanish, we're going to use the infinitive form again. Ir. you don't translate ing to ando yendo. Remember that a sentence in most languages or in every language is the subject plus the verb plus the object. This is the basic structure. Number 1, playing tennis is fun.
You will often say stuff like that to friends. Right? Doing something is fun, doing something is boring, doing something is tiring, whatever, like I said, whatever it might be. See? Playing tennis is fun. But playing tennis, I'm not saying somebody is playing tennis. I'm saying the action of doing this. And then I'm describing. So it's a subject. It is a noun, playing tennis, right? It's not who is doing something.
If you didn't know what I'm explaining to you right now, you would probably translate this sentence to jugando tenis es divertido.
No. You cannot do that. If you say that, so por qué es importante? Why is this important? Because if you actually say that as what you think is a literal translation, that will like throw a wrench in the works of somebody's brain, the person you're talking to. Okay, they'll kind of understand what you mean, but boy, it sounds really strange to them. So they're not expecting to hear that. So they'll like you'll see the eyebrows go up or their head tilt, or they have to think about it. They have to think about what you said because it's not what everybody says. It doesn't make sense to them. We'll
But
see how you
here,
do say this.
playing is not the main verb of the sentence. Playing is actually a noun. And the main verb of this sentence is. So playing tennis is going to be jugar tenis es divertido.
And there's, again, all you do, so it's an easy solution. Just throw in the thing. Easy solution. Jugar tenis es divertido.
Number 2, learning takes time.
Learning, we're not talking about who's doing it, but the fact that it is a thing. Learning.
Aprender toma tiempo. Number 3, walking is good exercise.
You might say that to somebody. Yeah, walking is good.
Caminar es buen ejercicio.
Okay, so here it's not caminando, it's caminar. Caminar es buen ejercicio.
Number 4, sleeping is important. Dormir es importante. Number 5, smoking is bad for you.
Sí.
Fumar es malo para ti.
Fumar es malo. Fumar es malo. Okay. Y basta. Enough. So sometimes, yeah. But notice in all those examples, I don't have a star paired up with, because I'm not talking about who's doing the fact that it's an activity, right? It's just something that you do. Okay. ¿Entienden? Make sense? See?
Sí.
Okay. Vale. Yeah. So be prepared for, sometimes it is not appropriate. So let's do some examples of that. So you can think of things that you would typically say, and I invite you to throw in your ideas. Let's take a look, and I'm attaching these to the end of the whole file with the dad and the baseball games. So that's these are extra. I'll make sure I include this in the email, post-class email, because if you got rid of that email, you won't have that old link maybe if you didn't save it. So here we go. Vale, bien. So let's do the noun thing, because this is an example that we use a lot. Por ejemplo, okay, yeah, driving a new car is fun. Driving a new car is fun. Manejar un nuevo carro es divertido. Driving a new car. Manejar un nuevo carro. Bien. Bien. Vale. ¿Ustedes tienen alguna idea? Do you guys have an idea of some?
How about hablar en el cinema es mal?
Hablar en el cine. Buen ejemplo.
Cine,
En el cine es malo.
malo.
Talking at the movies. Oh, and look, here's an at. And where we would say at. At the movies, meaning you're in the theater, right? Or at the movie theater. See? Is that. Sí, exacto. Un ejemplo perfecto. Perfect example. Otro ejemplo. Otro ejemplo, sí. Mm. Comer verduras. Comer muchas verduras. Veggies. Es saludable. Eating, yeah, lots of veggies is healthy. Es saludable. ¿Okay? Ah, ah. Practicar con ustedes es un placer. Practicar con ustedes es un placer. Practicing with you guys is a pleasure. Okay?
Yeah.
These are all ings that we use as a noun. See? Okay? Okay. Pagar las facturas del mes. Es es aburrido. Paying the monthly bills. Facturas are bills, yeah. Pagar las facturas del mes. Paying the monthly bills is for nobody else. Okay. Okay. And sometimes it might not read off the sentence. Sometimes it might come later in the sentence. Okay. Por ejemplo. Oh, okay. But it's line 7. It's looking small. So I want you to see sometimes the order might be switched, reversed, and you'll still use infinitive. But English would use an ing, and Spanish in these cases will not. Por ejemplo. Es importante. Regar las plantas. Regar es dar agua. Giving water. Okay. Regar, watering. Es importante regar las plantas. So here, instead of leading off with the infinitive like manejar, or leading off the sentence with the infinitive manejar, hablar, comer, practicar, pagar, we've got it at the end. We've just kind of flipped the order. See, es importante regar las plantas. It's important to water the plants. Yay. Okay. Excellent. Algunos ejemplos. So I'm going to tag those on and resend that, sí, para que puedan ver los ejemplos. ¿Sí? ¿Todo bien? All good? ¿Alguna pregunta? Any question
Mhm.
or no? ¿Es obvio? Obvious?
No.
So just using the one example that you had that wasn't at the beginning of the sentence. If it's not at the beginning of the sentence, does it tend to be instead of ing, is it more like the infinitive to water, to pay, to
Yeah, then it is. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, but it's still, yeah, kind of like an an activity idea instead of who's doing it. Okay. Yeah. Buena pregunta. Good. Good. Vale, muy bien, muy bien. Ok. ¿Hay alguna pregunta con ando yendo? Any question about ando yendo or no? No? Okay. I want to do a quick run through. You probably won't listen to the whole thing, but I want to show you some nuggets of things that are good to know. Buried in our video for the week. And our video for the week was Español con Juan. It's from that channel. He generally tends to do kind of many more faster rate speaking, yeah, a little bit. Es de España, he's from Spain. Some Spaniards do have a reputation for speaking very, very fast. Here's one, but this one is for him, a somewhat slower rate, but he used some things because he was taking you with him on his walk. Okay, so as he was taking you with him for his activity, he did describe some things as they were happening. But you'll notice sometimes he uses just plain presente, present tense, and sometimes he switches to the estar with an ando yendo. So
Right.
you can do both. Both are appropriate to talk about what is happening now. Both plain old present tense with all the conjugations for yo, tú, él, usted, nosotros, ellos. All of those are appropriate. But people may switch it out and want to give a live feel to it, and then they may change it to está with the ando yendo. So I want you to notice that, and there are going to be some other nuggets not related to that he's also going to use. So I want to kind of give you a narration to highlight some of that stuff, because these are things you might not have understood or might not have noticed, or might not have said, "Oh, I could use this elsewhere." But some of them are nuggets. See,
Question. He repeats himself many times. Is that his
Yes.
style?
that is on purpose.
On
He is
purpose,
not
okay.
doing that because he is forgetful.
Okay.
That is a teaching technique,
Good. Okay.
because
Gracias.
most people might not catch it the first time if
Mm.
they're learning. But if you repeat it, you start noticing that's the path, that's the path, that's the path. So hay un motivo, there is a motivation, there is a reason, hay un motivo, there is a reason for doing that. See.
I also noticed in the video when he shows this swimming suit, he said Chan, Chan, Chan.
Oh!
C-H-A-N. And I never heard that word before, so I tried to look it up, and there was no.
If you ever want to look up something like that, I got to tell you that there's a way to maybe get an answer. For something like that, it will generally not be in a dictionary. So, generally what you do with that, go to Google and put quotation marks, chan, 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 quotation marks,
Okay.
and meaning. You might get an answer from that. This is not a directly I don't think there's a direct translation, but I've heard Spaniards use it, Mexicans use it, Colombian people using that.
Mhm.
I'm gonna show you what chan 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 means.
Okay.
Okay. Chan chan chan, chan chan chan. Here I am.
Here I am.
Okay,
Okay.
here's a good translation for chan chan chan. Ta-da! That's
You got
good.
it, okay.
Ta-da! Here I am. Yeah. It's not grammar. It's not grammar. Okay. Bueno, sí, Andrés. Buena pregunta. Really good question. So we'll stop there. Vale la pena. I think this is worth it. Okay.
Temprano. Todo el mundo está durmiendo.
Here's an está. But,
Durmiendo.
dormir is an IR that it has a stem change. So instead of dormiendo, it's durmiendo. It's just know that durmiendo comes from dormir. You said. Todo el mundo means everybody. Literally all the world, but we would say everybody. Yeah. Todo el mundo está durmiendo. And he's talking about right now as I'm talking to you. Está a oscuras. It's dark. He's up super early. And he's talking about what everybody is doing as he's speaking.
Me acabo de levantar.
I just got up. Me acabo de means I have just done something. I have just finished doing something. It means it's using a present, acabo, from acabar, but it means you just got done doing that thing, like minutes ago. It has to be super recent. Me acabo de levantar. I just got up.
Acabo de levantar de la
I
cama.
just got up out of
Esta
bed.
mañana, chicos, vamos a ir a la playa. A la playa, chicos, a la playa.
We're gonna go to the beach and near future. Ir a near future. We're headed out to the beach. We're going to the beach.
Voy a abrir el balcón.
I'm gonna open up the balcony.
Shh, no podemos hacer mucho ruido, no podemos
We can't make a lot of noise.
hablar muy alto.
Hablar alto is the same. We can't talk loud. Muy alto. Alto means tall, but alto with sound means crank up the volume. No podemos hablar muy alto. We can't talk loud.
El sol acaba
And el sol, the sun just did something. It just did something. Acaba de, just did.
acaba de salir.
Acaba de salir. The sun just came out.
Up.
Es muy temprano,
It's really
no hay nadie por la calle.
And notice how many times he's going to use the word nadie. ¿Qué es nadie? Nadie is a negative idea that refers to people.
Nobody.
Nobody. No one, nobody. He's going to use nadie like 3 or 4 times. So he can say, nada, N-A-D-A, is nothing.
Nothing.
Right? If we change nada with the A at the end, if we swap out that I and we put IE at the end, it becomes nadie. And it's also a negative idea, like nothing is a negative idea, but nadie refers to people. No people. Nadie, nobody.
In the streets.
Sí, no hay nadie por la calle. There's nobody out on the street.
Calle. Shh, vamos a ir a la playa, chicos.
We're going to go to the beach, guys. Chicos there doesn't mean little kids. It means guys, and everybody on both sides of the Atlantic uses chicos to say guys.
A ir a la playa. Me voy a poner el bañador.
I'm going to put on my swimsuit. Here comes our ta-da,
Chan, chan, chan.
ta-da.
Me he puesto este bañador azul y
This is a past thing. It just means he just did this recently. right, instead of proper past tense, which is the conjugation. Me puesto, me fue, me he puesto. And the me is ponerse means to put clothing on, or sunscreen on, or jewelry on. Put something on your body. Me puesto es el bañador azul. I put on this blue swimsuit
Esta camiseta blanca.
and this white t-shirt.
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo
What do
me
you think?
queda? Ah,
How does it fit?
una cosa muy importante que
A really important thing.
también me tengo que poner. La crema.
An important thing I have to also put on. Yeah, sunscreen. And you
Sunscreen.
may hear sunscreen as a noun expressed as crema para el sol, crema solar, protectivo, yeah, because it protects your skin. It gets different names, sunscreen, but they won't use the word screen. Crema, muy popular.
La crema para el sol. En la cara, en el cuello,
On your neck,
la nariz,
on your
la
nose,
frente,
on your forehead. La frente is your forehead.
las orejas,
On the
los
ears.
brazos,
Arms.
las piernas. Perfecto. Aquí no hay mucha luz. Estoy bajando
There's not a lot of light.
las escaleras de mi casa.
He's going along doing this. So it's estoy bajando. I am going down the stairs. Yeah. Estoy bajando. So because he's filming while he's talking, this is totally appropriate to say estoy bajando.
Casa a oscuras. Voy a abrir
I'm going down the stairs in the dark. A oscuras, in the dark.
la puerta, voy a abrir la puerta y vais a ver que
I'm going to open the door, and you guys can see that vice is a you guys in Spain, but we don't use them on the side of the way, right? Instead of van a ver, you guys are going to see it's vice a ver because it's the plural of tú, okay. Which is a really popular thing for Spaniards to use. They use it all the time. Latin Americans don't like it because it's an extra punctuation. They don't want to bother with it, but vice a ver, you guys will see. Vais a ver, you guys will see.
la playa está aquí, muy cerca, ¿eh? Cierro la puerta. Quiero estar seguro de que nadie entra en mi casa porque tengo
Here's Nadia again. I want to be sure that nobody does what?
Enters my house.
That nobody comes into the house. I have love treasures.
muchos tesoros. La playa está allí al final de la calle.
The beach is there at the end of the street.
Al final de la calle. Me gusta mucho salir a la calle.
Oh, I like going out on the street in the morning. I like going out. I like going out on the street in the morning, but the going is salir, because we're talking about the activity,
Early.
not who is doing it, but I like going out on the street in the morning, early, when there's nobody around. Cuando no hay nadie. There's nadie again.
Por la mañana temprano, cuando no hay nadie.
When there's nobody.
No hay nadie, no hay turistas, no hay
No tourists.
niños gritando.
And here's an ando that's appropriate, but notice there's no estar. Instead of saying the kids are yelling with no
Niños.
yelling kids. Yelling kids. He's using gritando to describe kids in the middle of kids who are doing something, screaming kids. No screaming kids. You can hear gritando, screaming, yelling, without estar. And sometimes that means it's describing what those kids do. It's giving you an oral description. No screaming kids.
No hay señoras mayores paseando.
No elderly people strolling. Strolling is not
Mhm.
paired up with a stat. Strolling describes, it gives a visual description of elderly folk.
And no cats.
Yeah, see. No hay gatos means no
No
cat.
hay
There are
gatos, no hay
cats.
perros, no hay motos.
There are no dogs. There are
La
no
mayoría
motorcycles.
de la gente todavía a estas horas está durmiendo. Ay,
Most people are sleeping. Está durmiendo. La mayoría, the majority. Most. And it's a singular idea in Spanish. See? La mayoría does not end in the letter S. So it's a singular. It's a collective now. Like familia is a collective now. Like equipo, team is a collective now. Okay. Bye.
hace un día buenísimo, hace un día
Wow, it's a really nice day.
muy bueno, hace mucho sol,
It's very sunny.
me da el sol en los ojos.
That means to give. Wow, what is it? Me da el sol. It gives me the sun. But look at what he's doing. Hand up above.
Screening.
Yeah, he's screening it. So what would we say here? Me da el sol en los ojos.
The sun's in my house.
Sun's in your eyes.
Y no puedo, no puedo ver bien, ¿eh? No puedo
see
ver
well.
bien. Oh, qué bonito, qué bonito.
How cute, how
Qué
pretty.
paisaje tan bonito. Aquí
What a beautiful. Look at this sight. It's beautiful.
al lado de mi casa,
Next to my
al
house.
lado de mi casa.
Next to my house.
Nada más salir de mi casa, tengo el mar aquí a la puerta. Y allí
See, right after, it's nothing more. So right after going out of my house, I have the sea here and la puerta.
allí debajo está la playa.
And down there, allí debajo, down there is the beach.
Esta es la playa, fijaos, chicos. Esa es
Big house means notice. Make note, make a mental note. Check this out. Big house.
la playa. Aquí en el centro de la ciudad. Es muy
Right in
pequeña.
the middle of the city.
Es una playa muy pequeña. Para
It's a really small beach.
entrar aquí,
In order to get in, para entrar, in order to get in, and notice, para is a preposition. And if I want to pair up a verb right after the preposition, it's got to stay in infinitive, para entrar. To get in here at this beach, seems like you got to do something. Seems like you got
en
to
esta
do
playa
something.
parece que tienes que pasar por un montón de roca.
You've got to go through a bunch of rocks. You've got to go through a bunch of rocks. And a bunch or a ton of is un montón. Un montón means a heap, a bunch. Right? I got a ton of paperwork. I got a ton of paperwork. Tengo un montón de documentos. Tengo un montón de papeles. Montón. Un montón. Un montón, somebody says they're buried in it. It's just a bunch of them.
¿No? ¿Y cómo se baja?
I want you to notice this. Here is a chunk that is a real jewel. ¿Cómo se baja? ¿Cómo se baja? ¿Cómo se baja? We're going to focus on this, and we're going to focus on this next week as well. Okay. So besides all the estar and estar durmiendo or estar bajando, besides all those we've got a couple of little gems with ¿cómo se baja? How do you get down? When you want to talk, so here's our little nugget. We're going to watch for examples of this, and we're going to also use it next week. We'll do a couple of examples next week as well. ¿Cómo será? This is another one of those examples of when you hear the word say. And say is used in many circumstances, so the context is important. And here he's talking about how you do something. But he's not talking to you as a person using who, or he's not talking to you as a verb using ustedes. It's the general you. It's the impersonal you, the faceless you, the Tom, Dick, and Harry, I don't care who it is. The you that applies to anybody whatsoever, anybody at all. That's when we use a say. How do you get down? If you were doing like super proper, have your pinky out with your drink, proper English. How does one get down? You know what somebody means. How does one get down? But almost nobody in American English will say, how does one do that? You know what it is, but it sounds like super formal, like maybe even stuck up, depending on your feeling about that. You know, how does one do that? Sounds kind of formal. So we say you instead. How do you get down? That's when we use say. ¿Cómo
¿Cómo se
hace?
baja aquí? A ver, tengo que descubrir un poco
I have to
cómo
discover a
puedo
little bit.
bajar. Aquí,
How
ahí hay un
And now he switches how I can. Now he's making it talking about himself. How I can get down. Not how any old you in the crowd can get down, but how I can do this, how I can go down.
señor, no sé si lo podéis ver, sí, pero hay un
I don't
señor
know if you
aquí
can see,
que
but
se
there's
está
a man.
bañando ahí en la playa.
Oh, there's a man who se está bañando. And this is used instead of nada. Instead of nada. You might hear people using bañarse, which literally means to take a bath, but you know, because it's a bathing suit or swimsuit, bañarse can also be used to talk about taking a swim. Besides taking a bath. Also can mean taking a swim. Se está bañando, but it's reflexive. Se, and that se is not the se baja, how do you get down? This is a true reflexive. Se está bañando.
Pero yo no sé cómo puedo.
And here's another se, but it's not the se baja. It's not the se está bañando. It's yo no sé. I don't
No.
know. This se sounds like all the other says, but in writing, notice in writing, it gets a little accent mark. And you don't have that benefit of the little accent mark if you hear it, right? Yo no sé. I don't know. That se in writing, it's an accent mark because it says, oh, watch out. We know that word se. It has many meanings, but this particular se means I know. It's the conjugation for saber, to know facts, to know information, to know stuff, to know how to do stuff. And when we conjugate it for yo, it's not sabo. It's just se, right? Yo no sé. I don't know. I don't know how I can do that.
¿Cómo puedo bajar allí? ¿Cómo puedo bajar? Porque estoy caminando, ¿vale? Estoy caminando.
Hey, while I'm showing you guys on my camera, I'm doing it while I'm walking with the camera. Estoy caminando. I'm walking, okay, ¿vale? Okay.
Por el paseo marítimo, ¿vale? Por el paseo marítimo. El paseo que está al lado.
Yeah, so the maritime strolling.
Del mar,
The
¿de
seaside
acuerdo?
stroll.
Pero no sé.
I don't know. Oh, now it's gonna say, oh, now I see it. But remember, they have to express that as now. It, I see. Now, it, I see. And the it is. Okay? Lo veo. It, I see.
Ahora lo veo. Hay unas escaleras.
Oh, there are some stairs.
Hay unas escaleras. Ah, mira, hay una señora.
There's a lady there.
Allí hay una señora que está bajando.
Oh, there's a lady who is doing something. She is, right now, while we're talking, she is moving in this direction. She is going down.
No.
Ahora está bajando. She is going down.
¿La veis? Hay una señora que está bajando por las
There's a
escaleras.
lady going down the
Es Cristina,
stairs.
es Cristina.
Es Cristina. Es su pareja. It's his partner. ¿Sí?
Hola, ahora. Está saludando.
And what she is doing right now, está saludando. She is
Wavy.
waving. She's saying hi. She's waving. Waving your arms is saludar.
Hola. Ahora hay otro señor que está bajando. Está
And there's
bajando
another
por las
man going
escaleras.
down?
Entonces, así es como hay que ir a la playa, bajar por esas escaleras desde mi casa
And that's
aquí
what you got to do to get down the stairs from my house.
a la playa. Se tarda poquísimo. Se tarda poquísimo.
Ah, se tarda. Ooh, that tarda looks a little bit like tardy, doesn't it? What does it mean when you're tardy? You're
Late.
late. Se tarda is a common verb. And it's often used when you're talking about going places. Yeah. Se tarda talks about the duration, that it takes an amount of time. Se tarda, it takes. Se tarda, it takes. Se tarda poquísimo. It takes how much time?
Little bit.
Very little. Poquísimo makes it even smaller than poco, a little bit. Poquísimo. It takes just a little while. It takes. Se tarda.
A pie se tarda,
On
yo qué sé,
On foot, it takes, I don't know, 2 minutes?
2 minutos. Pero, aquí yo creo, aquí para bañarse es
Here?
muy difícil, ¿no?
To get in the water?
A mí me da un
it's kinda
poco de
hard.
miedo, chicos. No sé cómo.
It gives me a little bit of fear. It makes me a little bit scared. To give you fear, me da miedo means to be scared of something.
No sé cómo decirlo, pero a mí me da un poco de miedo meterme ahí con todas esas rocas.
I don't know. It's a little scary getting in with all those rocks.
Hay una playa muy pequeña.
There's a really small beach.
Esto no
there.
es lo que yo me había imaginado, ¿no?
This is something that I have not thought about, have not imagined.
Quiero bañarme porque tengo mucho calor, hace mucho.
Because if I want to get in the water, because it's really hot.
Yo aquí no sé si voy a bañarme de verdad.
I don't know if I'm going to get in the water, really.
No sé si voy a bañarme. Es una pena, es una pena, pero
It's kind of a pain in the neck. Es una pena. Es una pena is a negative thing. It's kind of a pain in the butt.
a mí me da un poco de miedo.
It's a little scary. This intimidates me a little bit. It's a little bit scary getting myself in with all those rocks.
Meterme ahí debajo.
Down there.
El paisaje está muy bien, ¿no? Pero me da miedo bañarme aquí, ¿no?
The view here, el paisaje, that whole landscape, it's really pretty, but I don't know.
Y, mira, qué barco. Allí hay un barco.
There's a
Qué bonito, un barco de
there's a boat.
ver allí al contraluz. Qué bonito. Sí, el paisaje es muy bonito, pero
Contraluz is the backlight. It's backlit by the sun.
realmente yo no sé si me voy a
I don't know if I'm
bañar
getting the
aquí.
water here.
Aquí hay muy poca gente bañándose, no hay nadie. En este momento no hay nadie en el agua.
No hay nadie. Here comes our nobody word again. No hay nadie. Wow, hey, there's nobody in the water. And here the N is an N. No hay nadie en el agua. Wow, if there's nobody in the water, there's nobody swimming.
No hay nadie bañándose. Bueno, venga, vamos a ver. Voy a bajar por estas
let's see.
escaleras.
Let's
Aquí
see.
están, Aquí están las escaleras. Me da un poco de miedo, porque son muy estrechas, Son muy estrechas,
Boy, these are really narrow stairs. These are really narrow, estrechas, narrow.
estrechas. Bueno, venga, vamos. aquí estamos llegando, estas son las escaleras.
Oh, here's the next. Estamos llegando. We are getting there. We are arriving. Estamos llegando. We're getting there.
Venga, vamos. Vamos.
And here he uses not estamos bajando, but vamos bajando. We are moving along, going down. He's giving more movement. Instead of estamos bajando, vamos bajando. Let's go down. Yeah, let's do this action going down.
Bajando. El día es muy bueno, ¿eh? El día es
Good
fantástico.
day.
El día es
Great
fantástico.
day.
Y espero pasarlo bien, ¿no? Espero pasar.
I hope to have a good time. Pasarlo bien, or you might hear instead of lo with a la, pasarla bien, it means have a good time. Espero pasarlo. I hope to have a good time.
Pasarlo bien aquí, en la playa. Yo he venido aquí a bañarme, pero
I've come here to get in the water.
no sé si me voy a poder bañar. Ahí hay un señor bañándose, hay un señor que se está bañando así, hay un señor que se está bañando así en la playa, en el mar, pero yo... Ah, mira, ahí hay un señor que está intentando entrar allí,
There's somebody trying to get in.
aquel señor está intentando entrar en el mar, quiere bañarse, pero es muy complicado, ¿no? Es muy difícil, fíjate, allí hay muchas rocas y piedras.
Yeah, fíjate. Hey, notice, check it out, fíjate, check it out. There are a lot of rocks. Boulders.
En fin, a mí esto no me gusta mucho, ¿eh? Fijaos, está lleno de piedras todo. A mí me gustan.
Yeah, it's full of rocks.
A mí me gustan las playas con arena, ¿no?
I like beaches with sand, yeah.
Con las playas de arena, de arena blanca. No sé qué voy a hacer, chicos. No sé lo que voy a hacer. Aquel señor está haciendo gimnasia.
The guy's moving his arm better. Aquel señor, that guy over there, aquel señor, aquel means he's over there, he's far away. Aquel señor, that man is, he's doing some kind of gymnastics. See, está haciendo, he's doing some kind of gymnastic movement. Okay, so we're going to stop it there for un momentito. So I just want you to notice those little nuggets and come up with the same things. And I'll stop there because I want to show you a quick thing we're going to use next week, but I want to preview it. So you know, para que sepan, so that you know. And I will send you a little file on it, and I will send some pictures, fotos. I don't have them set up yet, but I will. By the time I send you the email, I'll have some algunas fotos available. Practice with see photos. Bien. Otra pregunta. Any other question on that video? Sam,
No.
¿Tienes pregunta o no? No?
Good.
Nada? Okay. Vale. Bien. So we saw some little highlights of the things we used, and we are going to take a look at this so you have an introduction to read into next week. And I'm going to add some pictures to this later by the time we get when that little word say isn't reflexive. This is something that is helpful to know. It is often to say that you, in general, not the physical human being, you, were expressed by the idea of tu, or usted, or usted. When to say that you do something, or, you know, in a negative sense, that you don't do something, right? Okay. Sometimes, many times, se is part of a verb, like levantarse, to get up, or dormirse, to fall asleep, or sentarse, to sit oneself down, or ducharse, to take a shower. Many verbs are just reflexive and you say, but sometimes you hear say used not really as a reflexive, but to say that any old Tom, Dick, and Harry, you, in general, do. The ayuda mucho, helps a lot. I'm trying to make this a little bit bigger. You'll be able to see it. Maybe on the screen better. But Sept is often used in speech or on signage. If you're walking around town, you'll see Sept in a really short thing on a sign. Or general instructions. Okay. And the reason that you might say this or hear somebody saying it or read this is to express that people in general do this action. It is like a passive voice, right? Se habla español, Spanish is spoken, right? The emphasis with this say is not to say who does something, but that anybody at all, you in general, do it. It's not singling out you as a human being, right? So, okay. It does not tell who specifically does. It says everybody does this. You in general. So, se habla español. Spanish is spoken. Okay. Se vende. You might see that on the sign. For sale. Okay.
Se vende.
And by the way, sometimes you might see that as, yeah, se venden. Sometimes you might see it with an N at the end, and that means a plural. And in that case, it will say, mean they are sold. Like if it's plural stuff, well, okay, por ejemplo, forget, okay, se vende. If you just see like a sign on a house, se vende, it's probably that house it's a for sale sign. Se vende. But it's una casa, one house, so se vende without an N on it, right? You se venden, you'll see paired up with a thing like se venden zapatos. Shoes are sold. Are sold. We're not telling who sells them, you sell shoes, and but the N at the end will mean they are sold, meaning it's a plural type item, something that comes in a pair or comes in a bunch. See, oh, muy común. Here's the common thing that really all travelers should know. ¿Cómo se dice? How do you say? Right? Very, very proper English. How does one say? But, we say you more often here in America, don't we? How do you say? Anybody at all. ¿Cómo se dice? How does one say? How do you say? Or something like this. Se abre a las 9. It opens. And they're talking about a public space or a space for commercial use. Okay? When does the store open? When does the office open? When does the museum open? Right? Se abre. It is open. It opens at. Se abre. Yeah. Okay. Great. Bye. Here are some things we will use next week. These we're going to do together. Together. You want to express the idea of it's used for. It's used for. See? Okay. See? Oh, it's used for my hands. It's used. You use it for. What do we do with usar? It'll just be se usa. See? Se usa para, and you list it. See? Se usa la crema, se usa para las manos. You use it for your hands.
Right.
Okay? See? You want to say it closes at a certain time. Se cierra. Se cierra a las. We'll
9.
have the hour. Sí, se cierra a las 9, se cierra a las 10. Sí, it's closed.
7.
Sí, bien. Oh, it's written. Se escribe. Oh, this is often used when you want to talk about spelling something a certain way. Se escribe. Se escribe. It is written. Oh, okay. Se escribe con Z. You write it with this letter. Se escribe con Z. You write it with yeah. Meaning
Z.
you spell it with a C. Yeah, se escribe. You write it with a Z. You know? Oh, you may see this on a sign, meaning you can't do this. Not instead of you use it, or it's closed, or you write it this, you spell it this way, to say it's forbidden. Se prohíbe. Se prohíbe. It's a no-no. Se prohíbe, por ejemplo, se prohíbe entrar. You can't
Enter.
come in.
Come in. Or smoke.
You can't smoke. See? Oh, this was a fun one I used to see when I was riding trains as a college student. Paper.
What is it?
You can't spit. Can't spit out the windows of the train. That's the
Yes.
thing. Really? They have to post a sign for this? Well, apparently in the 70s they did. Maybe they don't anymore. In the late 70s they did. Se prohíbe entrar. Se prohíbe fumar. Se prohíbe escupir. Okay. Yeah. Oh, moms and dads might say this to a kid. So, sometimes to say it's not done. No sense. You don't do that. It's not done. You don't do that. They might pair it with the extra word, see. A see means that way. You don't do it like that. Or you don't do it like that. No se hace. No se hace. Bien? Vale?
Bien.
Okay.
Mhm.
Bien. Okay. I'm gonna throw up some pictures, not all the time, but toss out some pictures in the connected slides, the next few segments of those slides that you'll get in the email. And I want you to ponder how we might use that little say to talk about those pictures. See? Bien?
Sí.
What you do or what you don't do. Yeah, see? Bien? Okay. Vale. Muy bien. And you'll get a new listening video or just, yeah, listening to the story. Yeah. Getting the general idea. And as you do the listening video, make a little note with the minute marker if there's a vocabulary word you don't know, or if there's a whole phrase, verb phrase strung together that, what is that? Make a little
Oh.
note of the time with that. Do turn on the subtitles when I give you those stories, because they are always helpful to see the words as you are hearing them, unless you want to really test yourself. Okay. Todo bien? All good?
Mhm.
Todo bien?
Look good.
Magnífico, vamos, vamos, bueno, excelente, excelente. Y así, ok, espero que tengan muy buena semana. Hope you all have a wonderful day.